First of all, let me say the two PSAs, the chairs of various committees and agencies present, the CEOs, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Now, this is ordinarily such a function would have required a lot of fanfare and razzmatazz and, a lot of things. But we wanted to keep it simple because this is the beginning. We want to celebrate the product and to keep this ceremony as simple as possible. And that's why I'm taking the responsibility to introduce the subject matter, but thereafter also take the responsibility to introduce everybody who is present in this very important auditorium. First of all, let me say this is a very, very pivotal moment in the journey towards empowering our youth and giving them a voice. We are gathered here today to unveil the National Election Steering Committee and to launch officially the roadmap to the upcoming National Youth Council elections. This election, scheduled on 7th to 21st of February 2025, is a critical opportunity for our youth to directly shape the policies and leadership that will govern them. Through these elections, young Kenyans will elect their leaders, giving them a platform to determine the direction of youth programs and initiatives across the country. Indeed, this is a significant step towards realizing our vision for more engaged and empowered young population. The steering committee that we are launching, which will oversee the election process, will ensure that the elections are conducted in a manner that reflects integrity, transparency, and fairness in line with our mantra of zero tolerance to bad governance. Theirs will be a pivotal in setting the ground for successful election, one that upholds democratic values and fosters youth participation in decision-making. To emphasize the magnitude of this moment, it is worth noting that the last National Youth Council elections were held in 2012, which is over a decade ago. In that span, Kenya has conducted 3 presidential elections, 4 actually, if you remember what happened in 2017. Yet the voices of our youth in this critical council has remained dormant. In actually 2012, when the first National Youth Council elections was done, I was also an aspirant for senatorship. I have since gone through 3 elections and then thereafter moved to this ministry. That time, when we started discussing matters of National Youth Council, I was a board member of Youth Agenda. So we made a lot of progress. It's a long time. And you can imagine that God in his own ways gave me the privilege and honor to be the one who is coming now, many years down the line, to preside over these elections. I still remember when they were holding the elections and we were also holding ours or aspiring to be in politics, the young leaders who were elected, we were all fighting for having the person close and connected to you to become the leader in our regions. So I can imagine what's going to happen from February when we do the elections. It will have a lot of interest. I also want to say and confess that when I was nominated for this position, it was after a process where young people had demanded that they don't have a voice and that their voice through National Youth Council was stifled because there had never been elections for over that period of time. Now this is the moment. We are delivering a promise. When I was vetted in Parliament, I promised that my first task is to make sure that the National Youth Council can do the elections for the first time in over a decade. And I'm very, very proud this afternoon that I am actually launching the process that will make that promise a reality. This underscores just how monumental today's launch is and the transformative opportunity it presents for young people of Kenya. Now, this NYC election is not just a routine exercise. It's about giving young Kenyans the power to lead, to engage in issues that directly affect their future. The roadmap includes detailed timelines and procedures which will be made available to ensure that all eligible young people and youth are fully informed and prepared for the elections. Why is this upcoming elections crucial for Kenya? We are all aware that without platform to engage, contribute, lead, the aspirations of the voices of our young people remain unheard. These elections represent an opportunity for young people to take an active role in shaping their future, influencing their policies and decisions that will affect them and the generations to come. I am emphasizing the elections because the very reason why we have a National Steering Committee is the IEBC of the elections. And it is important because the National Youth Council has operated for over 10 years, not over 10 years, but almost over 5 years, without really a legitimate council members. And so these elections really legitimizes the institution of National Youth Council, gives it the impetus to be able to engage the government and governmental institutions to become the voice that is going to speak on behalf of young people. And it will be young people speaking for young people, not older men speaking for young people. That was the intention of the Constitution. If all of you remember, the reason why National Youth Council was put in place was because of the curricular and working reports that had captured clearly that the reason why the country in 2007, 2008 went the way it did was because many young people felt that they were not participating in governance and their voice was not being heard. I would like, after the elections of February, and I look forward to having a vibrant voice of young people, legitimate, vibrant voice of young people, elected by young people themselves across the country, to come and put us to task as government officials. You know, we are not, and I want to emphasize, we are not launching this steering committee to preside over sham youth elections. We are also not launching this steering committee to elect sycophants to office. We want to elect legitimately strong voice of young people who will come and take us to task and put us to task to make sure that we are doing everything required by law and based on our promises to deliver the promises of the people of Kenya and especially the young people of Kenya. So I am very excited that finally we are going to have this. We had a desire to amend the NYC Act, but we've said let's first have the voice of the young people leading NYC itself, so that when we are amending the Act, it is not because we can have young people contributing to the amendment of that Act to make it more operational, to make it modern, to make it responsive to governance, and also to make it easy for young people to make the decisions they would like to do so. However, while the NYC elections take precedence today, it's important to highlight that the broader youth agenda beyond elections, we are dedicated to creating a suitable future for young Kenyans. Our commitment to extends to addressing the youth unemployment crisis, expanding skills development programs, and offering economic opportunities. In the ministry, the Nyota program, which we are implementing thanks to with our development partners, will provide 800,000 job opportunities to young people. It's just one of those initiatives designed to create tangible pathways for youth employment. We are also making strides in creative economy, a sector where our youth have shown exceptional talent. The creative industries from film and music to digital media and design are a growing field with immense potential to generate employment, promote national culture, and drive innovation. Our focus will be on providing the necessary infrastructure, support, and policies that allow young people to flourish in this dynamic sector. To drive the National Youth Council agenda, I am pleased to announce that the appointment of Ms. Gloria Wawira as the acting CEO of the National Youth Council. Gloria shall be shared in terms of her CV, is basically a lawyer and a public policy expert with over 10 years experience across government, the private sector, and has been a procedural advisor on parliamentary committee issues in the Parliament of Kenya. I wanted to read somewhere her resume to say that Gloria has a Master's of Public Policy from the Blavatnik School of Government at the University of Oxford. She's laughing at me because I am struggling to pronounce the School of Government of University of Oxford, and a postgraduate diploma from Kenya School of Law, and a law degree from the University of Nairobi. For avoidance of doubt, she is, unfortunately, she's a lady, but we have to announce her age because her predecessor was being accused of being above 35 years. Gloria is 32 years old. Yeah, it's important to make that public before we are accused of appointing also an old man or an old lady to this place. She's been recognized by the Young Africa Leadership Initiative, the Emerging Leaders in Africa Mining Australia Award by the University of Queensland, and the MasterCard Foundation Scholar. All those are things, achievements she has made, and I hope she will use her stint in the initial sense. She's acting for the next 6 months, and I hope that she will use that opportunity to inspire young people to also have a CV like hers and to access opportunities to voice the issues in the public. So please put a round of clap to Gloria. You may stand. So that is Gloria, who will be, for the time being, the acting CEO of the National Youth Council. But also to make sure that the National Youth Council is operating for the time being, and as it waits for the council members, I also took the liberty to put in place the National Youth Advisory Board. The National Youth Advisory Board is the board that advises young people, you know, on what they need to do, even though it's constituted also by many young people. And the chair, Madam Chair, is here, Sophie. Please clap for her. She was already in office, and she will be speaking. I'll be giving her a chance to say a few words later. Please have a seat. And the rest of the members, if I call you, please be upstanding so that we see where you are. Madam Caroline Warui. By the way, the law establishes the basis of appointing of the advisory board. So Caroline, is she here? Did she make to be here today? Pardon? She sent apologies. Mr. Stephen Wafula. So if they are not there, is everybody not there? So, okay. So that I don't need to read everybody. Mr. Dennis Mungo. Yeah, clap for him. He runs an NGO that deals with youth issues, that as per the Act. Annabelle Shikada Apondi. So it seems many of these people did not make it to be here. Yvonne Orlando, Dr. Yvonne Orlando, please clap for Dr. Orlando. This is the steering committee. The responsibility of this steering committee is basically to receive and approve the plans, reports, and financial statements and budgets of the council. And as you see, the council is not here as we speak. As I said, we will establish the council based on the elections. They also advise the council generally on the exercise of its powers and performance of its functions. And they will be serving for the next 3 years. Pigia hawa makofi. As I said, I didn't want to do a very big ceremony. So if you see some of these people are not here, it's because perhaps we didn't give them enough time to be able to make to this very important venue. So, Madam Chair, together with your, just still wait, Madam Chair, together with your advisory board and the Madam CEO, the acting CEO, we look forward to your leadership in this very important sector. And as we move forward, we must remember that the success of these efforts depend on integrity, transparency, and accountability. These values must guide you as we implement the National Youth Council elections and as we drive all the youth initiatives. Only through this commitment can we truly create an environment where young Kenyans are not just participants, but active leaders in shaping the nation's future. That is the first part of my speech. Kama vile imeandikwa, pigia mimi makofi. The second, mnipigia makofi tena. I'm behaving like those Pentecostals. Yes. Thank you. Before I move to the next assignment, who are these who are going to serve in the steering committee? I will want to announce them. The steering committee, these are the men and women who are going to run the elections. This is the IEBC, although IEBC is also inside this IEBC. And we have Mr. George Osaso. Where is George Osaso? George Osaso is the chairperson and, of this very important team. We have Mr. Mohamed Bare. Mohamed Bare. Thank you, Mohamed. Yeah, pardon? Huh? Oh, you're representing Mr. Bare. Okay. Somebody is represented. Please, be seated. Okay. I thought they should be there in person. But I thought he was representing a PS already. Yeah? We have, please tell Mr. Bare he cannot be represented. He has to be in person. It is already gazetted in person to represent the principal that nominated. Ms. Beverly Onyona, please clap for Ms. Beverly Onyona. Mary Mbugwa, clap for Mary Mbugwa. Mukomoni J. Osero, please clap for her. Wilkista Olwach, pikia makofi. Gideon Balang, pikia makofi. Mildred Duta Karanja. She there, yes, Mildred, thank you very much. You can see she is definitely a young person. It's a Gen Z actually. Eunice Akwam, pigia mkosi. So mnaona hata kwa sura tu ni Gen Z. These are young people. Jonathan Koech, yes, pigia yeye makofi. Unakaa Gen Z kweli? Yeah, you can see the face is still sorry, I didn't know all these people before, so don't worry about it. It's because they are standards of appointment, so you have to follow and make sure that you source people from all over the country, from different regions. Mwango Kitsao Kalu. Pigia yeye makofi. Thank you very much. You are under 35 as well, right? Yes, that was the specific requirement in the IDs. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. They are disputing, but you know, you can on a light note. Helen Tuwei, Mrs. Helen Tuwei, pigia makofi. Yeah, thank you very much, Helen. She's representing the council, right? Yeah, the Council for Persons with Disabilities, and you can see she's of different abilities. And then Sophie Waliaula. Sophie Waliaula, as per the law, she's a member of the steering committee as the chair of the advisory board. So this is the committee that, as I've told you, will be in charge of the elections and make sure that they coordinate the elections. But these elections will be done in mashinani. And the law is clear who will help. We will have persons from the interior helping. We'll have our youth officers in the constituency level. We have persons who will be elected by young people from across the grassroots. Once you elect the first group in the grassroots level, then the rest is a delegate system all the way to the national level. So I really look forward to these elections being successful. Some of Mr. Osaso was actually the chair, was present. Were you present in the last? Yeah, he was there in the last elections in 2012. So he has institutional memory. We have made sure that there is no gap. There are people who have institutional memory, and there are people also within the National Youth Council who are there during the first elections. And I really look forward to a very successful elections. I'm very happy, man. It's like a huge weight is lifted off my shoulders. And I want to thank the PS Youth for working closely with me on this issue and for his advice and guidance in this very important matter. The second part of my remarks are on the issues of sports. And thank you, PS. I even wanted you to speak more on the subject matter because I knew my plate is full. But thank you very much for the guidance, support, and also in the shortest time possible, you've made it possible for me to the other people. This is, which one? Yeah. I just wanted to say that I have, the two PSs have made it possible for me to quickly grasp the work of this ministry, and I want to thank them. Thank you very much for your guidance and being present to give counsel, wise counsel. The second part is for us to launch the task force on review of policy, legal, and institutional framework of sports in Kenya. Again, this is part of my promises that I promised when I was being approved in Parliament. I promised the people of Kenya that we are going to have a legal framework for youth development and youth policy and creative economy and sports policy and sports law. On the part of the youth policy and the youth development law and the creative economy law, already the task force is progressing. They were in a retreat recently, and we believe that by January they should be able to give us back a report. We will be completing the process to prepare the report. On the part of the sports team, there was a team that was in place, but I felt that because of the weighty nature of the issues that are affecting the sports sector, it was necessary to put together experts from different fields to help us to prepare the draft law and to prepare the draft policy for us to adopt as a ministry, and thereafter presented in Parliament to be made into law, and also a sessional paper on sports. Why is this important? It's important because there is a serious gap at the moment in this ministry. There is a serious gap insofar as management of federations is concerned. If you listen to the people of Kenya, they are insisting that in every sport, they think that the cabinet secretary for sports is in charge of the games. He is also in charge of appointing the coach. So when we lost the qualification of nations, I saw everybody saying, now sack the coach, and they're saying, Mr. Minister, sack the coach. They can never believe that there's an institution called FKF who has the exclusive responsibility to hire and fire the coach. And of course, I am aware that in the agreement of FKF with the coach was that if he doesn't qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations, that relationship is disengaged. And since we were the ones who are funding as a ministry, we will, upon the period being attained and the circumstances that have befallen the coach as a result of that first failing to qualify, of course, rather obvious that we will implement that section of the law, and we will not remit any further resources beyond the period that was agreed. And so there is a problem with federations. You just need to sit in my office to know the chaotic nature of dealing with federation in the country. And the officers in the ministry, how would they have to run helter-skelter sometimes to meet unreasonable deadlines after being presented proposals for teams that are traveling out of the country even a day before they can travel. You saw, it's very easy for people to come and sleep here sometimes. Or, you know, somebody just organizing a tournament and telling you it starts next week. And the first point of call is newspapers and media to try to raise resources by embarrassing the cabinet secretary or the PS in the hope that this pressure will make us release public resources. So there's some kind of lack of order here. And for us to be able to do a proper job in regulating the federations must comply with the law. And the law at the moment is slightly inadequate when it comes to managing this relationship between the ministry and the federations. And we believe that this task force is going to fill this gap. We also believe that the office of the Registrar of Sports is extremely critical, yet it's a small appendage in some corner without an office and funding. We believe that without empowering the Registrar of Sports to hold the federations and all sportsmen and women into account, we will not be able to achieve the level of development in the sports sector and discipline that we require. Again, this task force is going to give us an answer, having done comparative analysis and to ensure that we have a very properly functioning registrar's office with also suggestions on how best we can finance that office. We also want to see from this task force a clear roadmap in terms of development of youth in sports. What exactly is the roadmap in Kenya for a young person who wants to take up a particular sport? When parents want to take their children to take up a particular sport, where is the pathway? And how can we create that pathway? In fact, the most important issue that is why we have a representative from the Ministry of Education, is to answer the question, what is the proper relationship between sports and education? And to make sure that there is a proper linkage between education and development of sports, so that the Kenya Academy of Sports and within the ministry here and the Ministry of Sports have a clarity on that issue. And that's why we have nominated university professors on matters of sports to be part of the task force, and also people within education sector who are in the task force itself. We want to also make sure that we think about standards of construction of our sports facilities, so that then the law is very clear that every sports facility shall be constructed to what standard, so that those standards are the ones that will guide the Sports Kenya and county governments that are going to construct sports facilities to make sure that they abide by those standards, so that we don't also find ourselves in the situation we are in, where a number of county governments have constructed sports stadia, put tartan that is not of the quality that is required, and now we are unable to use them to train, yet the people of Kenya have put resources. They will also guide us on maintenance of these very important facilities. So there are enough issues. There are many other issues that I have not exhausted in the establishment of this task force. The task force has about 6 months, but I expect them, because of the existence of work already done, to within 3 months give us a draft law and draft policy for us in the ministry to start discussing and to finish the next 3 months public participation and final report. I have been a member of a task force, and task force well run are able to do a fantastic job. I am a strong believer that a more organized task force, well supported for that short period of time, is going to a document. I was a member of the task force on devolved government, and the 6 legislation that we worked on before I became a senator are still guiding the country to now, with very little amendments here and there, even when I went to Senate. And so even the devolution policy that we have in the country, that task force was able to deliver. And so having served in a task force, I believe that this task force is going to deliver a very good product for us to take it to Parliament, pass it, and have clarity insofar as this sector is concerned. I have appointed men and women to this task force of immense qualifications, and I believe, and experience, and I truly believe that through them we will be able to have proper laws and policies. I have faith in you, John, as my senior. I have faith in you and your team, and I believe you are going to deliver for the country. I actually picked the chair, Mr. John Ohaga, because he was retiring from the tribunal. And having been the chair of the sports tribunal, there is no better place to get to know exactly which sections of the law are not working, than chairing the tribunal, because all the cases he has been able to preside over have indicated gaps in the law. And so from his leadership as a senior counsel, but also as a practitioner in this sector, I believe that your leadership is going to help the country move forward. And therefore, help us sort all these problems that we have. Why should someone who was a president of a federation, after the expiry of term limit, run as a vice president? Doesn't make sense. Now I can tell you this because you are no longer the chair of the tribunal. I know you wanted, the other time you were pretending to be impartial. Not pretending, but you were trying to be impartial. These are some of the things that we must answer. And when you see me being hard on the federations, it's for the good of the country. And I have sat with some of these officials of federation. I've told them, guys, you may be a good man, but the industry does not believe in you any further. And they cannot put money in the federations. And now we are forced to fund everything. The people of Kenya need to know that we, in the qualification for AFCON, we supported fully our football team, including hiring jets for them, private jet to take them to Cameroon and other places. Because we never wanted as a ministry to be blamed for bad results. But after all you do that, the easiest place to go is where's Kipchumba, in this issue. So, and it's a legitimate question by the people of Kenya. But I wish they knew that there is a gap somewhere in terms of management of the federations. We want this time round to make sure that these federations, and we are not going to interfere on who is going to be elected, but at least meet the minimum qualification. And for some, if you think that somebody else can do a better job, it's important to give them another chance and then contribute to your country in a different way, not necessarily by insisting that you must hold that particular office. So thank you very much for that. And I want to introduce now the task force. We have Mr. John Ohaga, who is a senior counsel and is the chair. We have Noella Rotich, who is a lecturer at Eldoret University, and I don't think she made because I knew the time was very short for them to come. Catherine Ochanda, she's here, please. You are representing? Office of the Attorney General, yeah. We have Jane Mwangi, Miss Jane Mwangi, she's not here. Yeah, she's from KEPSA, yes. She was very passionate when she came to see me, and I noted her name about sports, and she's from KEPSA. And KEPSA agreed that we... Ismail Kirui from Kenyatta University, Sports Department. Thank you very much. Victor Omwebu. Victor Omwebu is from the Law Society of Kenya. Yes, how can I forget? He has practiced in this area. Thank you, Victor. Thank you very much. Clap for him. There are too many lawyers. I hope you will agree. Rachel Sendo is from the Law Reform Commission. And I know her personally. She's very brilliant. Yeah, because she was my classmate. But that's not the reason why she's here. She's representing the Kenya Law Reform Commission. We have, if she was my classmate, she can only be brilliant. How then would she share a class with me? On a light note. We have Francis Mutuku. I don't think, did he make to come? Oh, Fran, yes. You know Francis as the CEO of NOC. He brings wealth of experience on behalf of many federations across the country. Thank you, Francis. And we really believe that you will benefit from your contribution. Beth Wamalwa. Beth is from, yes, she's our staff, but in charge of, she's in the Department of Sports anyway. Details will follow. As you can see, I've not known everybody. Rose Wasike is our registrar. She's here. Pigea Makofi. Yeah. That registrar of sports office is really understaffed and underfunded. Or underfunded is an understatement. Not funded. So it's part of the weakness in the ministry because we failed to put enough resources. Sometimes she comes around to ask for money to go and pay electricity bills. And this is very serious, and we must be able to deal. Bernard Ouma is an athletics coach and my advisor in the office. He is not here. He's out of duty. Martin Kano. You all know Martin Kano is a practitioner in sports sector, including sports marketing. He used to run before, though he doesn't show so much now. Kizito Wangalwa. Kizito, did he make? I think, no, he didn't make because you called him late. He's a representative of the Council of Governors. So we have county governments. Again, by the way, this is another area, Chair. You have to really find clarity on the relationship between county governments and national government, particularly on the sports infrastructure and sports organization and sports activities within how do we find that operationalization of Article 187 of the Constitution on intergovernmental relations on matters of sports. Being sports is a shared function, but largely we have sports development also being a function of county government and us to make sure that the international standards and participation of Kenya is achieved. Eliud Wambua Mwasia. Eliud. Okay, representing which organization? Ministry of Education. This is very important. Ministry of Education is very important for this issue. And the minister, I spoke to the CS, Migos Ogamba, is at a very senior level insofar as this issue is concerned. And then Miriam Mweni Muli. Miriam Muli, is she here? What organization was she representing? Practitioner in the sports sector. And then Kateru Amina Jennifer. Jennifer Kateru. Again, she's not here. But there will be one. The joint secretaries will be Caroline Omondi, who is our lawyer here. Risba Mukonyo, if she's not here. And Ian Luther. I don't know if Ian is here. And finally, Margaret Gatti. Most of these people are from the ministry departments. Pikia Makof. As you can see, I'm a fair man. I appointed people based on their qualification. I don't know them. I'm getting to know them today. What I saw and the recommendation I received was that they were very qualified to make sure that they give us very good law. They will co-opt members from other agencies, urgently Kenya Academy of Sports and Kenya Sports Kenya, because they are very important agencies that we never brought their names to be gazetted here, and also the other agencies, non-governmental organization, anybody with the direction and guidance of the PS. We will agree you co-opt necessary people with the support of the ministry to make sure that your work is successful. With those many remarks, Munipigia Makofi is fit for purpose for the job. Where is the CEO Sports Fund? Or somewhere here. Is a man you must just generally like. So that's why I wanted to like him for you, so that he can say something, because we would like to see that this process is supported and properly supported to achieve. And you spoke very well about the financing. We'll be happy to see in the policy, but also in law, how to deal with issues of financing sports. And particularly because even the fund is sitting on a very shaky legal grounds. And I think we would like to see your policy recommendation and suggestions, so that we're not just doing the Sports Act, sports-related acts. Some of the recommendation can go to sports-related acts, and we'd like to see those comments. I really look forward to a very exciting future, near future, in the next 3 months, and thereafter 6 months, to have a final report that is going to change how we are going to do many things in sports sector. And this is for posterity. You are writing your names in the annals of history by contributing to your country, by making sure that we have a legal framework that is modern, so that when we talk about PPPs, we don't have the kind, you know, the other day when I said we need, like, there's exactly the same word you used, that we need an architecture and infrastructure for attracting private sector investment in sports. Wakasema amefika sports na adani tena. Yeah. Here today when I went to Parliament, the senators really wanted to know how best we can leverage on PPPs to develop sports infrastructure. So there is room for us to encourage private sector to invest more in this sector. And Mutuku from NOC is of wealth of experience in this sector, being the person in the focal point of all federations that are affiliated to NOC. So hii ni mzuri sana. Nawatakia mazuri, and I look forward to, this is the easiest way to be a cabinet secretary, just task force, committee, and then you receive the reports, then you present, then you succeed. But honestly speaking, my job is to lead. I am not an expert in everything. That is a fact. As a cabinet secretary, your job is to lead. And leading means giving opportunity to the people who have the knowledge and expertise to do the things they want to do for their country. And I've given you that space to do so. And we will give more people opportunity. Now, through you are going also to reach out to so many Kenyans who are looking for a forum to give suggestions on how best sports can be run in the country. And that's what it is. There is nobody who is a cabinet secretary who can be an expert of everything. The best job I can do is to lead, not to become a technical person to implement everything. It's to give chances. And there are so many qualified Kenyans that can run our country better. It's for us to give them the space and opportunity to contribute to the nation. Asanteni sana, and God bless you. Thank you very much.